So the Battlefield 1 beta has officially dropped. If you're an insider, you'll have been playing it for an extra day. If not, then you will be picking it up pretty soon anyway, and you'll have about 10 days to enjoy what the DICE team have put together in this kind of final test before the game releases for the general public. Now, I've been playing the game for a little bit as I got it today. I also played a lot of the alpha when that came out as well, and I got to grips with tanking and as many of the vehicles as possible. As you know, if you've been on this channel before, Battlefield 4 was a major game for me, and I played a lot in the tanks and the helicopters. Obviously in BF1 we don't have helicopters, so I'm kind of forced to stick to the tanks. I'll obviously be playing infantry and stuff like that as well. Now, the first thing I did when I logged into the game was obviously check out the map, have a little drive around in a buggy, but then the moment a tank became available, I spawned in it. My favourite from the alpha was definitely the light tank, or the light close support tank, and using the stock loadout of the main shell and the canister shell, I found that it was a really nice combination for going on some nice kill streaks. Now, this video is going to have some initial tips and tricks. Some have come over from Battlefield 4 for anyone who tanked before, but it's not going to be anything massively extensive. I'll also go over a couple of tips for the map itself, because I find that this map is actually quite a nice tanking one compared to the map that we had in the alpha. And being a conventional desert map, or conventional Battlefield desert map, there are some tactics that you can transfer over from previous maps such as Silk Road and maybe Gulf of Oman and things like that. So the first tip I've got for you is, as you can tell from the background here, I'm showing you how you can actually repair your tank. You jump out the side, you use that hammer, and you repair it as you would a repair tool. The animation for getting back in is fairly long. You can also get shot as you're getting back into your tank, so it is a risky manoeuvre getting out and repairing your tank. You can also repair from inside the tank. Sitting still, you hold down X and the little repair animation comes up. It will be fairly common throughout this video because I had to repair a lot of times, obviously taking hits. This is a lot more effective, however you're going to have to be in a situation where you're not taking any damage. You also can't shoot and you can't move when you're using this animation. The best way I've found so far to deal with this is to not overextend on flags, and that just basically means don't go into places where you will possibly get flanked, possibly get hit. You see in the background there, that guy threw a grenade at me. I took 11 damage, and I had a way, if I was a bit quicker, because obviously I was a bit new to the map at this point, I could have backed off and I wouldn't have taken any damage at all. If I'd pushed onto that flag and got in between those two little canyons, I'd have been stuck. And I've seen a lot of people doing that on the beta already, driving into these situations where, unless they, you know, kill everybody and they've got infantry helping them out, they just get taken down by grenades. And you can't repair. Obviously you take another hit, you can't continue that repair animation, and you're screwed pretty much. So keeping your distance from flags is really important. As you can see in the background here, just flank flags, keep the canister shell, as it's a beast at taking down infantry, and then whenever you spot somebody, shoot them in the face. And it works really well, especially if you're new to the game like I am. This is an effective way of getting kills. I was getting 20 and 30 kill streaks on my first few matches, so I find straight away this is the best thing to do. As for other loadouts in the tank, I'm really not sure what you can get at this point, because obviously I haven't unlocked a lot of stuff with war bonds, and it is still a beta, so we don't know what's coming in the main game. I would assume that the LMG that you can unlock is a lot more powerful than the canister, because you're not limited to just single fire shots, so that would be a better choice for me. And I'm pretty certain there'll be other options in terms of shells as well, so possibly you won't be limited to the equivalent of what I think is an AP shell at the minute. As you can see here, there's a little clip in the background. That tank in front of me has done exactly what I said you shouldn't do. He's pushed into a spot where he can't see his left, he can't really see behind him, and he got hit by a grenade. Luckily for him, I took the guy down and he managed to back off. I then got hit by a grenade, and look what I can do. I can back off at a distance where that enemy can't take me out. Even because of my bad accuracy, I missed the shot. I can still take him down. I've got loads of space behind me, and I can rep. This goes for any flag. There'll be more gameplay in the background coming up where I'm on different flags, and you can see my positioning. I'm just sitting off flags. Simple, but it really does work. Built up areas such as the Charlie flag on Sinai Desert are really nice for splash damage and making use of that micro destruction and micro levolution kind of thing that we've been seeing as a common theme in this game. Now, what I would suggest doing, take the canister shell for infantry engagements, as you saw there, and use your main shell to blast through walls. A really good way of seeing whether there's an enemy behind a wall, especially as we don't have thermal now, so you can't really see enemies running behind objects as well as we used to be able to in BF4, you need to look for where your teammates are dying. If you see somebody dying inside a building, it's pretty obvious that they've either been killed by a grenade that's been thrown in, or there's an enemy in there. That way you can shoot through the wall and take him out. One other really important feature when in one of the light tanks, or to be honest in any tank, but especially the light tank on this game, is utilise the third person aspect as much as you can. You'll often find you'll be in a situation where you're coming up against maybe a house in front of you, or some sort of structure that could have somebody behind, or it could have somebody hiding just inside. If you're in first person, you can't really see. You've got a limited view. Obviously your aim's better, but you're not going to be able to see as much as if you were in third person, and then you can peek around the side, make use of that field of view that you're going to have. Then you can obviously make out where they are, and you're going to have a better chance of taking them down. It also improves your positional awareness, which is really, really important in games such as Battlefield, where there's lots of enemies coming from all directions, tanks, planes, all sorts of stuff, and you need to have a mental map of where they all are in your head in order to be the most effective. So what do you do when you're in the light tank and you come up against a bigger tank, possibly a land ship, possibly one of those massive big fridge freezer tanks that you think they've got 6 people inside, they've got a big gun on the front, and they can do a load of damage when you come up against somebody? Well, this is how I tend to deal with it. There's 2 options for me. One, run away. That tends to be the best option a lot of the time. You're in a tank, they're in a tank. The chances are you're going to weaken each other. Maybe he takes you out, maybe you take him out. Either way, you're going to be in a really bad position afterwards, especially with the repairing system. So what I like to do is quite often back off, look for a better opportunity to take him down, let the infantry do some of the work. As you can see in this situation, that guy's already taken a hit in that land ship. What I'm doing, staying behind this wall, just peeking out, shoot him in the side, get him back behind cover. Similar to what you see in Battlefield 4, if his gunner was looking at me, I would have taken a couple of hits, but he wasn't, so I could afford to put some shells into the side of him and eventually take him down. I think he was getting some reps at the back as well, so I did pick up a couple of kills when I took him down. This works really well. Obviously switching to your canister shell if you see anybody near you, in third person a lot of the time as well, so I can check what was around me. That's a really important feature, as I mentioned before. But as I said, if you come up against a tank, you'll see this in my gameplays that I've recorded already from the beta. If I see a tank and I don't think I can take him down, I'm not going to fight him. Your best asset on this game is being smart and hiding behind cover. Now in the background I have an example of why you shouldn't push an enemy who has a little advantage on you in this game. I try and roadkill this guy. In Battlefield 4 that would have been easy. I'd have just rushed him, roadkilled him. Not a problem. On this game he managed to throw 2 grenades and ran away from me because obviously I'm not fast enough. He nearly killed me there. I'm down to 39 HP. If he had a rocket gun or someone had a rocket gun, he had a teammate with him, I'd be dead. And obviously I couldn't repair if he was still throwing grenades at me. At this point, I'm kind of safe. A grenade does come over the top, but I'm far enough away. So in a situation like that, I really would recommend staying away from the infantry there, looking for a flanking route and then taking him out. Trying to push infantry straight up like that is just going to get you in a lot of trouble, going to get you taken out. Similar to Battlefield 4, again as I said, you need to make sure that you've always got an escape route, you've always got somewhere that you can hide behind, somewhere where you can repair. I was lucky enough not to receive a track disabled or something like that in this game, so the tank was always a little more mobile, and that way I wasn't ever a sitting duck for something else to take me out. Overall, I'd say the light tank in this game is super effective. It is a fantastic vehicle. After a couple of games, I'd already racked up some nice kill streaks. I'm pretty certain we're going to see some nice tanking gameplay in the future on this map, especially located around the Charlie, Bravo and Delta flags. They seem to be the best in my opinion. I haven't really seen too much in terms of air threats. I know you can unlock the anti-tank gun and you can unlock some rockets as well that could really do some damage, but I haven't really seen that so far, so that's something that I can't really comment on. And also I haven't seen the behemoth train come through and try and take me out, so that's something as well that could really be a massive problem for a tank, but so far so good in terms of this game. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below and let me know what you want to know for the tanks. As I said, this is an early beta guide. I'm kind of getting my foot in the door here before we start off. This is the place to come if you want to see some nice tank gameplay, if you want to see some kill streaks, and if you want to see some comprehensive guides like we had in BF4. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the next video.
We have lost objective.